Hold up. Wait a minute. You just stepped into a space where we keep it real, bold, and fire. This ain't your average podcast. You hear me? I am unapologetically Ramon, and you just entered the QB zone, where conversations get deep, laughs get loud, and I will always keep it 100. I promise you. So buckle up and get ready for a ride that's as unpredictable as it is unforgettable. So let's get into it. Hello, somebody.
Rock Legion.
What's good, everybody? Listen, I want to welcome you on back down to the QB Zone for another episode. I am, of course, your host. And today, I want to dive into one of the most explosive rivalries in hip hop history. And I think about just the history of hip hop, specifically when it comes to the different rivalries. I, of course, think about Biggie and Tupac. I think about KRS-One and LL Cool J. I think about Lil Kim and Foxy. I think about Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj. I think about Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj. In recent years, we've had Drake and um, Kendrick Lamar, which was definitely one of my favorites because, yeah, it don't make no sense how Kendrick Lamar just murdered him. But anyway, that's a whole different topic for another day. And then there's also Chris Brown and Quavo. And every time I think about it, I laugh about that line in Chris Brown's song about like you all hip hop, but you just got bodied by a singing nigga. But anyway, so clearly with that in mind, I'm going to be talking about Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Now, let me be crystal clear from the jump, so there's no confusion. I am firmly and unapologetically 100% on Team Cardi up in here, okay? I have watched this beef unfold for years. And the more I learn, the more obvious it becomes who's bringing the real authenticity to the game and who's bringing nothing but toxic energy. So strap in because we're about to break down, I'm about to break down this feud, highlight some facts. And hell, I don't know. I may throw a little shade where shade is due. Who knows? Like, whatever. So I broke it down into 6 quick segments. The first one, segment 1, the timeline. Like, how did it all begin? Let's take it back to where this all started. Around July 2027, Nicki was spotted dancing to Cardi's breakout hit, Bodak Yellow, in a Miami club. Seemed harmless enough, right? Well, just one female rapper acknowledging another's rise. That wasn't what it was. Behind that smile, something else was brewing. By August 2017, Cardi was already feeling the tension. During a performance at Mopa PS1, she called out someone who never liked her but suddenly wanted to be friends. Many people knew who she was talking about at that time. Let's be real, okay? Then that same year, in October, here comes that amazing song that I personally love, Motorsport. And for those who don't know, that's Migos featuring Cardi and Nicki. This was the track that was supposed to unite these two queens, but instead became ground zero for their battle. Rumors started flying about changed verses and subliminal disses. So, if you guys aren't aware of that part, Initially, when the song came about, and Cardi did her verses, Nicki did her verse, and Nicki's one of Nicki's original ones. She talked about um, basically Cardi being beneath her in a way because she compared herself to, I can't remember if it was Vince Lombardi or Dick Vitale, but she basically compared herself to someone that's like well famous, that's like a coach, and pretty much since Cardi was new to the game, she was up under her basically and not on her level. And I mean, I get why she would say that, but you low key taking a shot at somebody that you're on a song with. So Migos, specifically Quavo or Offset, one of them, forced her to redo her verse, and then she came back and it was what we all have heard many times on the song. And so that's what happened when it talks about changed verses and subliminal disses. That's where that come from. But let's be real, Nicki has a pattern. Whenever a new female rapper starts getting shine, suddenly there's tension. Just a coincidence? I don't think the hell not. The common denominator in all these female rapper beef has always been one person, Miss Minaj herself. Nobody else was beefing with Cardi. Any of these other female rappers, they weren't really beefing like that. But every time I turn around, that goddamn Nicki Minaj is beefing with another female rapper. Like why? Like why are you even giving them the thought of day? You know what I'm saying? Especially with all the success that Nicki had been having. So let's go to my second segment, and this talks about the Fashion Week showdown. So September 2018, the infamous Harper's Bazaar Icon Party, which I remember Naomi Campbell, a true, definitely an icon and a legend, was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and he had asked her about this Harper's Bazaar icon party. And when I think about it, still to this day, I crack the heck up because Naomi Campbell's response to his question was, "There was an icon party with no icons there." Okay, this was a party during Fashion Week in New York, 2018. And this is when the tension finally boiled over. Nicki allegedly approached Cardi, or actually, Cardi allegedly approached Nicki and confronted her about spreading lies. And yes, a shoe may have been thrown. But what pushed Cardi to the breaking point, right? Like, what did it? In her own words, from a W Magazine interview, she said, "For a while now, she's been taking a lot of shots at me. I spoke to her twice before about it, and we came to an understanding, but she kept it going." The final straw, Nicki allegedly liked and then unliked questions and comments that were about Cardi's parenting styles. And baby, that's when Cardi had enough. Listen to Cardi's own words about the incident. She said this: "I was going to make millions off my Bruno Mars tour, and I sacrificed that to stay with my daughter. I love my daughter. I'm a good ass fucking mom. So for somebody that don't have a child to like that comment, and that right there tells you everything you need to know about these two women. One is willing to sacrifice millions to be there for her child, while the other is out here trying to tear down another woman. The levels of pettiness are astronomical." Okay. And that brings me to segment three, the character assessment. Let's look at this with facts and let's be honest. Okay. So, who is Nicki Minaj really? Who has she really surrounded herself with? There's her brother Jelani Mirage, who was sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2020 after being found guilty of raping his 11-year-old stepdaughter. This is her brother, who she has publicly supported and admonished, raping his 11-year-old stepdaughter. Forget the fact that it's his stepdaughter. The age alone, disgusting. Okay, let that sink in. Let that sink in. And Nicki's husband, Kenneth Perry, baby, he's a registered sex offender. Yet Nicki has consistently supported and defended both men publicly. What does that tell you about her judgment and the company she keeps? Meanwhile, Cardi B has maintained genuine relationships throughout the industry. Artists who work with her consistently praise her work ethic, but authenticity as well, and her genuine spirit. When was the last time you heard someone in the industry, especially female, praising Nicki Minaj's collaborative spirit? I'll wait. The difference is clear. The difference is clear here to me. One builds bridges, the other burns them down to hell. One lifts other women up, and the other seems threatened by any female artist who might share or overshadow her spotlight. And now this brings me to my fourth segment. It's this recent drama. Okay? So let's fast forward to September 2025. Cardi drops her sophomore album, Am I the Drama, to critical acclaim. I mean, let's be honest, critical and commercial acclaim. We know the stats. She debuted number one. She's the first female rapper to have both her first two albums debut number one. She has the record because her album went platinum within the first 24 hours. It hadn't even been out 24 hours and that baby went platinum. And then we all know that within the next 10 days, the first 10 days of the album being out, it has gone double platinum. Okay? A massive achievement that should be celebrated, right? But what does Nicki do? Instead of congratulating another woman's success or minding her damn business, she jumps on social media to question Cardi's numbers and makes disgusting comments about her pregnancy. Nicki tweeted, and I quote, raw dogging pregnant with the fourth baby, Barney B, BVHPV, allegedly. And for those who don't know, HPV is a sexually transmitted disease. So basically, she just all kind of shady and ridiculous with this comment. So raw dogging, and she called the child Barney, like bitch, you're trying to be funny. This is horrible. So, like, are you kidding me? This is a 40-year-old woman talking about another woman's pregnancy in the most degrading way possible. Like, definitely one of the most degrading ways. But, baby, let me tell you something. That goddamn Carla B, or Beckley's, as some people call her, she clapped back perfectly and said, why you keep bringing up my album? It's not the gag that you think it is. You've been in the game 16 years. You need to compare yourself to your peers that started around your time. I mean, exactly, Nikki. She should be comparing herself to Rihanna, Taylor Swift, and Drake. She knows she's not because, baby, she's not even on the same level as them as far as numbers and success. But, baby, if you're not going to compare yourself to them, look at other artists who came around the same time as you. But why doesn't she? Because they're all still relevant, still breaking records, while she's out here throwing tantrums on goddamn Twitter. And that brings me to my fifth segment. Listen, the real difference. The real difference. The real difference. Here's what it comes down to. Cardi B represents authenticity in an industry full of facades. She came from nothing, literally stripping to make ends meet, and transformed her life through raw talent and hustle. She never pretended to be something she's not. When Cardi raps about struggles, you believe her because she's lived them. When she celebrates her wins, you celebrate with her because you've watched her earn every single one. Meanwhile, Nicki has built a career on this queen of rap persona that requires her to tear down any woman who may threaten her self-proclaimed throne. And the most telling part, in October 2018, after all the drama, Nicki posted messages about wanting positive things only. Yet here she is, years later, still stirring up the same toxic drama. Baby, actions speak louder than words. At this point, it's just actions speak louder than words. But let's talk about the legacy here, okay? This is my sixth segment, the legacy. Listen, what will these two women be remembered for? Cardi B has already broken barriers, amongst many others, as the first solo female rapper to win a Grammy for Best Rap Album. She used her platform to speak on politics, social issues, and to inspire young women from similar backgrounds. She's a mother who prioritizes her children while still building an empire and sustaining one as well. And through it all, she's remained the same Cardi, unfiltered, genuine, and real. Meanwhile, what will Nicki's legacy be? Talented? Sure. Pioneering? Sure, absolutely. But also increasingly defined by these petty, ignorant feuds, and by the controversies surrounding her inner circle, and definitely by her inability to share the spotlight with other women. Is that the real crown you want to wear? Queen of burning bridges, empress of endless beefs? As I wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. In the hip hop game, respect is everything. And respect isn't demanded, it's earned through your actions, your art, and how you treat others. Cardi B has earned my respect and many others through her journey, her resilience, her growth as an artist, and her willingness to stand up for herself while still lifting others. So, baby, here's to you, Cardi B. Here's to you, Mama, for keeping it real in an industry full of fake, for showing that a girl from the Bronx with a dream and a hustle can reshape the game, and for never apologizing for being exactly who the hell you are. And to my listeners, remember, you can tell a lot about people by the company they keep, by how they handle others' success, and by whether they build others up or tear them down. That's all for today's episode of the QB Zone. If you enjoyed this brief deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow Team Cardi members. We'll be back next week with another hot topic. Until then, baby, keep it real. Bye.